Welcome, everyone. I'm really tired. Alan's grouchy. Beat that. This is Our Android Week with Alan Furstenberg in New York, Bruce Turner in Lynchburg, Virginia, Duke Carrico in Kingsport, Tennessee, Cadeas Kalut in Newport Beach, California, dressed in green, and in Menifee, Pam Adger. This is Our Android Week. Good to have you with us. I am the host of this program who knows the least among the panel. It's been a very busy week with all this stuff going on overseas and at our home base, but it'd be nice to have a little diversion and talk about some tech stuff, some Android things. And thus we shall. So our first story is this Sprint there's a new CEO. Sprint is owned by SoftBank. Cadeas, correct me if I'm wrong, that's Japanese? Or
SoftBank is a Japanese company ran by a Chinese guy last time I checked.
Okay. And then they own Sprint. And Dan Hesse is out as CEO. There's a new guy. So he said we're going to do some really aggressive pricing strategies. And this is on the heels of T-Mobile putting a lot of pressure. So we see that basically I'm looking at this press release here. They've got the Framley plan, which is perhaps the dumbest name of anything I've seen. Maybe it's not Framley. Is that Verizon? Who's Framley? Who's got that stupid name?
Sprint is Framley, and I think in terms of bad names, it's giving Phablet a run for its money, yeah.
Indeed. Okay, so Sprint's doubling their data. Their individual plans are still unlimited, and I have Sprint, and it sucks, but it sucks less than the other carriers do. If it's not good or better than they are, it sucks less because they're all bad here, because I live in the woods, literally. So this is, what do you think about this? Is this attractive to you, Alan, if you were in an area that had Sprint coverage that was good, very hypothetically speaking? And B, are we finally at a point with T-Mobile chomping at the tail end of the number 3 carrier here, where we're actually going to see aggressive competition in pricing because the profit margins these guys are racking up are incredible? What do you think?
Well, I think we've already seen. I think we've already seen a lot of competition. I think that's happening now. That's what this year's all about. You got T-Mobile kind of declared war on everybody, and now everybody's scrambling to battle. So I think that we're already here. Sprint's pricing has came down. I remember there was a time when Sprint's phones were $200 a month for 2 phones. So for them to be down at 100, let me see, T-Mobile is down at 100 for 4 phones. AT&T's like 160-ish at 4 phones. So I mean, I think this is the competition that's actually happening that we've been asking for many years. So yeah.
Pam, what do you think? Are we in a new era of competitiveness?
I hope so. I have 7 devices on the same plan, and we pay $400 a month at Verizon.
And it's pretty interesting. I think we all here are all separate, so we all each have one of each. Like I'm pro AT&T 100%. Alan's pro T-Mobile. You're over here pro Sprint, fortunately or unfortunately, and then Pam's got the most expensive Verizon. So I think we are all positioned where we can talk about this.
Okay, so we agree that lower prices are good.
Yeah.
It's shitty service, but if you can pay less for the shitty service, that's better than paying
Yeah,
more.
that's Sprint's overall problem is that they got to get something going on with their service.
I like this SoftBank CEO guy, who's over, but they own Sprint, right? So Sprint has a CEO, and then there's SoftBank CEO, and I remember when he was pushing to buy T-Mobile, but I remember he said, he was very honest. He's a very witty guy, and he said, I take my iPhone, I'm in Japan or China or whatever, and then I come to the U.S. I'm like, oh my God, it's so freaking slow. And he's on their own carrier. He owns the carrier. They're the first to admit that they suck. So you got to give them kudos for, give them props for transparency. They know they suck. They admit they suck, or at least the SoftBank head guy does. But here I am in the woods next to a Sprint cell tower. I got no options. You know, turn around and grab my ankles. Here they come. Take my $100. But at least I got unlimited data.
What's your perspective, Alan? Or do you have one?
Not really. I mean, it's always good to see the various companies trying something new. So, that's great. This doesn't really make me want to. It's,
Since we're talking about bad networks, I'm wondering what Alan's on.
Yeah, we totally lost him.
Should we be an adult and not do a screen capture, or should we do a screen capture? Because that's pretty
That's all you,
epic.
Dan. That's all
That's
of
all
you.
me. Okay, so Alan will be joining us in a moment. But Alan's for low prices, we've determined, and better quality. So next is he's got to get up really early to give a speech tomorrow. So maybe he's pretending to have network problems, so he can like just disappear. Okay, so next up is the Amazon Fire Phone gets an OS update with new features, better battery life, and more, etc., etc., etc. I totally would not buy this phone. I've never seen one in the wild. Does anyone? It's different from the Fire. The Kindle Fire and the new ones are fantastic devices if you're really into the Amazon ecosystem. If you're a big Kindle reader type person, right? It's the new generation of the Kindle. And they're very good. My mom has one, the dual front-facing stereo speakers. They sound great. It's great. You can watch Prime, which you can kind of do if you have like the Puffin browser or one of these flash-friendly browsers that kind of do an end run around the restriction on Android, the modern versions, that sort of thing. But I don't know anybody who's got this phone. I don't know anybody who would get this phone. I would highly recommend nobody get this phone. Is this thing selling? Let's just update that. Kadeus, what are the? Tell me the reasons you would or would not buy the Fire Phone if you were Joe consumer, not tech expert.
As Joe consumer, I wouldn't buy it because I'm not an Amazon user currently, so it wouldn't benefit me to have a phone like
even
that.
people who are Amazon users, it wouldn't benefit them to use this phone.
That's true,
There's no
unless they're just
Amazon user who
diehard.
have this phone.
Yeah, I mean, then you're locked out of Google, which is the core of the phone, which is interesting. So you're locked out of what most people would buy this phone for. So I
Well,
mean,
to
there
clarify, locked out. I mean, you don't have. Do they
You
have a
can't
Play
use-
Store, or they just have the Amazon Store, the App
you
Store?
can't use email, you can't use Google Now, you can't use Google Calendar, the app. You can't use. I mean, it's just the list goes on and on. Everything you can think of, you can't use. So
And it's not like a $50 phone. I mean, this is a premium price phone, and it's only
Well,
an AT&T exclusive.
You can kind of debate. You can kind of debate the price a little bit because $100 of your $200 that you're going to spend goes towards your Amazon. I mean, they give you Amazon Prime for a year for free, so theoretically the phone's only costing $100. So, but still, would I buy this for $100? No, because I'm still locked out of everything I want to do. I mean, and maybe if Amazon really makes this phone worthwhile and they get more apps on the platform, they start somehow letting you use a lot of the Google features, then maybe it'll stand. But I mean, even as a software developer, if I build an app, this app is going to have to be almost proprietary to this device if I want to use the special things of the device, because it's got 4 cameras and you got the rotation stuff happening and accelerometers and all these different things that work alongside these 4 cameras. And so an app that I would build that would work for this phone will only work for this phone. So like it's I don't know, it's not something that I would find myself buying as Joe consumer or as software developer.
I don't see anything that this thing does that a straight Android phone wouldn't do, except some proprietary Android apps. It'll stream Prime videos, right? Which an
But
Amazon.
don't they have an app for that?
No, I mean there is a kludgy way around it, but it sucks, and I wouldn't do it again. I actually ended up buying a video that I had for free, and I called them up and they took it off my bill, but because it was so hard to see I hit the wrong button. I don't know. I just like I said, I think their tablets are good, and very competitive. I think they're typically the best selling item on Amazon, which is saying something when they come out. But I don't see this phone taking off. But it's good that they came out with an update, better battery, whatever. I wish it would stick with pure Android and add a bunch of Amazon apps to it to make it a compelling product, as opposed to doing an offshoot,
That would have been smarter, actually.
and a lot easier. Maybe they'll learn, or maybe we're wrong, and maybe it'll
But
take
they should
off.
have
We
learned
don't know
from
what the
Facebook.
sales
They
figures
should
are.
have learned from Facebook Home. Like, remember that drama? I mean, this is the same thing all over again.
And that was actually a very well done wrapper. I tried it. I played with it, just for a couple days to see. And I mean, if you're really into Facebook, if you want to feed somebody's cows or whatever, then it was a very well done launcher. But even that is just all
The
but
difference, though,
abandoned.
I mean, the difference from Facebook is that they already had a successful tablet, so they thought they could just, take everything that they did with the tablet and put it on a phone instead. I mean, if you look at it that way, yeah, it seems like it would be pretty compelling that the phone would be a hit. They just, didn't really go that route.
Okay. All right. Next up, as we move along, online video is driving the trend toward larger phones, according to a survey. I would think this is obvious. And we're also let's throw this topic in with the quote unquote tablets are dead theory we've been hearing bannered about. I think it's more like I got the Shield, which we talked about, that Alan recommended. I bought that for my sales rep. It's very good. It's faster, but frankly, it's not like I would throw away my Nexus 7 and immediately only want to use the Shield. It's a little faster. It's snappier, but it's kind of the same thing. There hadn't been dramatic improvements. It's not just like with phones. I mean, I'm up for renewal. I could renew at any time. I'm kind of waiting for a good phone with a 4K camera. I'm waiting for some new thing other than just marginally faster, marginally more RAM, or better, maybe a little better display. But they're all incremental things. There's no dramatic reason for me to abandon my Nexus 7 tablet from 2012. It's been 2 years or more, whatever it is. And so now we're seeing the video thing. So I know Pam has a Note 3, and then we're hearing about the Note 4. We've heard rumors that it's got a 4K camera, larger display, and the wood back, all that crap.
Hey, Dan,
What do you think about all this, Cadeas?
you do know that there are a few phones out there already that's been out for a while that's 4K,
Yeah,
including
but
the Note 3.
I think what the HTC is one of them, right?
The Note 3 is a 4K camera. The LG the curved screen LG, I can't even think of what that one's called. That one is a 4K camera. The S5 is a 4K camera. The S5 Active is a 4K camera.
None
There's
of which
just no
can.
incentive in recording in 4K yet is the only thing. 'cause
Then
not
nobody has a
everybody
4K TV. I mean, there's like
Right.
one, depending on where you like. My Costco has one 4K television set, and it's beautiful. And I think I talked to Craig Ship, who's in Frederick, Maryland, our resident troll on Google Plus Week and my business associate, and I think there's 4 of them in his Costco. But I've never seen one in somebody's living room. I don't know when that's going to be a thing. But I don't
Never.
know. Huh?
He said never. It'll never be a thing.
It's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing.
No, it'll never be a thing. People may have it in their living room, but it's never going to be a thing.
Okay. I think it'll be a thing. It took years for 1080p to take off, didn't it? How many years was it? I remember when it was
It
that
hasn't
one
happened
channel.
yet.
There was the HDNet channel, right?
Nobody cares! Really, Dan, nobody cares.
If you're a video content creator, you do.
You only care because you think your audience does.
It's gimmicky now. It'll be a thing at some point. So what's
1080p is still gimmicky, and it's been how long, Cadeas? 10 years?
Yeah, maybe 12.
yeah, we're still seeing 720p stuff. There's still SD channels. Jason Solis's channel is SD.
Because nobody cares.
4K won't be that great until they can get the games up there, and that is way out there. So
That'll be epic. That'll drive it. So the obviously, do you guys agree that online video is the key reason someone?
100%. Because for the longest time, people didn't want big phones. They wanted kind of small phones that can fit in their pocket, and now people are willing to sacrifice that little space that they lose in their pocket for a bigger screen. So when they pull it out, they can watch the content. But then the other thing too is people say that they need to be able to see their screens. So if they have vision issues or they just don't want to squint or whatever the scenario is, they would prefer bigger screens. So I would say that's second place to the online video trend. What do you think, Alan? Or did we? Yeah, he's frozen.
We just saw, I saw a post, I think we're going to talk about it Friday. I think I got it slated for Friday, but YouTube now has over 1 billion uniques a month. 1 billion unique visitors a month go to YouTube or watch YouTube, somehow transact with YouTube. And we're seeing, for the first time, just in the last few days, we saw that more people now subscribe to internet from cable companies than television from cable companies. And that's the first time that's happened. So there is a huge trend toward online video, and less, that's taking market share away from the legacy broadcasters. So the beauty of it is you can watch it on your television, you can watch it on your phone, your tablet, whatever. So I see this tendency. I know Pam loves her Note 3. Pam, do you find
I do.
how much video are you watching on your phone versus a year or two ago?
Almost none. I'm when I'm home, I'm on my laptop, and when I'm away, I'm not going to waste data on a video if I don't have to. Because I share 16 gigs of data across 7 devices, I don't have, the luxury of, streaming crap on YouTube with a data plan.
And of course, if you're at
And
home where Wi-Fi would cause that
I've
not to
got-
be an issue, you've got bigger screens to use. So it's,
Yeah, I have large TV and all that stuff. I mean, it's big enough that I could watch a Netflix movie, no problem. I just choose not to. Occasionally I'll click on a YouTube video that someone posts or whatever and watch it, but it's not a regular occurrence. And if I do that, I usually borrow my company's Wi-Fi. So.
And then this just in from Twitter. They said Alan is Hulk smashing people here with his nobody cares.
it's actually pretty tame for Alan. All right, so next up, we had a leak from Sprint, or from Best Buy, on The Verge, or they aggregated from whomever, and apparently the much sought after, much anticipated Moto 360, which Alan is going to get a free version of. We all hate him. Is going to be $249. That's kind of what we predicted, right? Or even we were fearful it would be more. I think this is an amazing price point for this device. Alan, you've been playing with the G for quite some time. What are your thoughts on this? This is a great price point, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty decent price point. I mean, it's I think it's more than the other 2 Wear devices that are out there right now still. So
How much
they
is
really
the G?
need to show something compelling, but we'll see. It just being a circle isn't really going to be all that compelling to a lot of people, I think.
So, but do you think that the fact that they're adding the heart rate monitor in there, which is one that's missing from the LG, which is a feature that's missing from the LG, don't you think that would be one of the triggers that makes people want to get this? I mean, for just a $20 difference?
Maybe.
That and then the NFC charging.
NFC charging, I think, will be the really interesting one.
I don't think any of that matters. I think all that
Because-
combined, all the feature sets, all that stuff is 10% of it.
The
I
existing
think
watches.
90% of it is that it's pretty, and that's what's going to make it a hit.
My only question that I have on this one, and maybe Alan, you have an idea. Okay.
So one thing that so we met up with some people in Carlsbad over the weekend, and Ken has the LG watch, and I asked him, I'm like, well, how do you like it? And he goes, oh, I like it. I just couldn't wait for the Moto 360. And I said, so if you have your phone with you, you can actually answer your phone. He goes, yeah, I can answer.
I got it. There you go.
I can answer my phone. I just can't um, um, hear what people are saying. So I could talk, but there's no speaker on the watch. So it's how lame is that?
I don't think they were going for the Dick Tracy thing, though. I don't think that's what it was supposed to be. You have the ability to decline the call when it's ringing. You have the ability to send a text message to it. But even when you use Google Now, there is no speaker to talk back to you. It's for you to look at the screen and decide whatever. So if I say what time is it in China, it's going to be able to tell me that by looking. There's no audio to that thing, which originally it was weird. Only because I'm used to Google replying to me with audio. So.
Yeah, but keep in mind there's a really good reason for it, because in order for it to be loud enough for you to get responses back, for you to hear them, it would also have to be loud enough for everyone around you to hear it, and that would be pretty damn awkward.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I just why give someone the ability to do something and only half-assed? You know, by the time I dug my freaking phone out of my purse or whatever, hold on, and I'm like digging through my purse to try and find my freaking phone. No,
I don't think the answer feature should have even been on there.
Maybe not, but then what is it? Well,
here's the thing.
You can't text anyone because there's no keyboard.
You can text. It's voice.
The same thing, though.
Alan, what were we gonna say?
Everyone around you is going to hear what you're saying.
That's no different from Glass or no difference from texting on the phone with your voice. People do that too with their voice.
Well, but here's the thing. The difference with Glass is that Glass does at least read things to you privately. I mean, I tend to agree. I think the Wear implementation's a little bit half-assed. But again, there are reasons for it. It makes sense why you would want to use the phone to reject a call. And since you're already doing that, why not also use it to accept your call? It especially makes sense if you've got your phone in your pocket and you've got your headphones connected and you're listening to your music and the call comes in. You no longer have to pull the phone out to reject the call or accept it. And if your headphones are already plugged in and you accept the call, it just works. You don't need the tablet part of your phone to do that stuff if your headphones plugged in, which a vast majority of people do.
Yeah,
Did that come through? Is my network working this time?
yeah,
no,
you're
it's true. I just $14 Bluetooth device and my phone.
Pam, don't you remember those days when Nextel was still functioning and you'd be in Walmart and
and I swear to
Bubba's
God,
talking to his wife about what to buy, and it's like my God, I don't want to get back to those days.
Good. You're right. Because I swear I was homicidal more than once.
But you know, Pam, it's funny that you mentioned the Bluetooth headset, because if you look at the invitation that Motorola sent out for their new device, for their announcement that's coming up later, it talked about 4 devices. It hinted at 4 devices, 2 of which looked like phones, one of which was the watch, and one of which was an earpiece. So it seems like they're thinking along those lines as well, clearly. Which is good, because then we get rid of the stupid tablet slab phone and get to some real phone form factors.
Was that a dig against my and Pam's phablets?
No, when I want to dig against your phablets, I start, talking like Daffy Duck.
Thuffering. All right, so that happened. All right, next up, as we roll through these topics, so Alan can get some sleep, his beauty sleep. Another leak. This is regarding the Galaxy Note 4. And Cadeas, of course, schooled me a bit on that the Note 3 had 4K, which I'd forgotten. And here we go. It's a good-looking device. I think we talked about this last week, didn't we? Or on Friday, I guess we teased it. But it's got a back that is textured, similar to the Nexus 7 tablet, easier to hold, and also stylistic. It's got the you see, it's got the stylus there, which I never use. I think Pam uses hers. I don't. And I'm not sure what these mean. I mean, the 2.5 gigahertz Qualcomm Snapdragon 805, 5.7 inch screen, impressive pixel count there, 2560 by 1440 for a 6-inch screen. That's pretty damn massive. 4 gigabytes of RAM. You can get 16, 32, or 64 internal storage with a micro SD up to 128. 16 megapixel camera, which means shitty and low light because too many pixels in there. They should stop the race to the megapixel count. And the 4K video recording, which you can't watch. Go ahead, Alan.
That ship sailed.
Meaning?
Meaning you're going to have an increasing race to megapixel count.
Yeah, Craig has.
And in some ways that's good, but
I mean, are you doing a billboard? Are you making a billboard? Are you doing Vogue cover shoot? Or are you trying to get low light performance? Because these pixels, they're so small, you know, it sucks.
what you want to, I mean, what a lot of people are doing is they're taking pictures so they can edit them later, and for that you need a higher number of pixels.
To crop. Okay. Any thoughts on this, Pam? Is this intriguing to you? This Note 4? Are you so happy and in ecstasy with your Note 3 that it's not a big deal? Okay. She's going to send me a self-addressed stamped envelope. All right. So next, yet another update of a phone with impressive specs. Next, China's #1 smartphone caught sending data back to China. Bit of a drama here. I don't think I saw this. I'm not sure. Was this yours, Alan, or Kadeas? Finland's F-Secure last week verified an accusation made by some users of some unpronounceable smartphones that it was phoning home, secretly sending data back.
Xiaomi! Oh, come on! We really need to learn the name of this phone by now.
I apologize. I don't know all languages. I'm not Wikipedia. Xiaomi.
This is the company where what's his name from Google left and went and joined.
Oh yeah, the guy from IO. Yeah.
You know, this is not this 2-bit rinky-dink company in China. This is the #1 smartphone manufacturer in China.
Well, if I haven't heard about it here in Front Royal, Virginia, then
Dan, we covered them like 20 times.
we've established that I'm a moron. If you could elaborate on the story, that'd be great.
At any rate, what it sounds like happened is that some of their components do phone home, just like some Windows components phone Seattle and some Google components phone Mountain View, and some Apple components phone Cuperino, and some Nokia components phone Finland. They contact their home base periodically. They always have, they probably always will, and we probably want them to some extent. Did it overdo it? Yeah, to some extent it probably did. And, they backed off on it. Does it freak people out because it's China? Yeah. But, so what else is new?
So they might not. They might not. They might know that Pam's husband said, "Can we have pork chops for dinner?" in China, and we have a national security breach. So, but there's no evidence that. I don't know. I mean, everyone spies on everybody, and if you think that you're going to be able to text somebody and there's no way the government's going to see that potentially, then you're fooling yourself. Okay, so next up is Dong Nguyen. Is that how you pronounce it? He's in Vietnam, right? He's the creator of Flappy Bird. He's got a new game out. And this is only noteworthy because...
Is it NG?
UI.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
It's Win. It's Win.
Win.
Dong Nguyen.
Win.
Last time, Dan.
Yeah.
Okay. It was more than 2 minutes ago, so I don't remember. So Dong Nguyen, the creator of Flappy Bird, who famously pulled it from the market because he couldn't handle all the stress of being the #1 game. Maybe Alan will do that. If his book tops the New York Times bestseller for tech books, he'll pull it because he won't be able to handle all the stress and the fame and the money. So anyway, here we go. It's kind of a cool game. I'm not going to play the video, but you can check this out. We got the link below, or go to toucharcade.com. They've got the exclusive sneak peek. But it's kind of similar themed. Definitely got that retro look, which is kind of alluring. And I remember Alan's review when he it was the recommended app of the week, but he wasn't recommending it, but he's reviewing it. Was epic. Of Flappy Bird. So this kind of has the same thing. It looks a little easier to play. Any thoughts on this? Are you guys like eager to get your hands on this? Alan, are you just gonna race to the Play Store on the whatever date, the 22nd, when it comes out?
No.
Okay. You're a man of many words, Dr. Furstenberg.
You really want me to say more?
No.
There's nothing more to say.
I just want to alert
I just want to alert our.
So I've alerted our viewers. Any final thoughts on Android this week? Alan, is your thing a public event people might want to go to, or is it private tomorrow? What's the deal?
Tomorrow, what's the deal?
It's public, but I'm not sure if registration is still open. I'll be at Speech Tech in New York City at the Marriott Marquis Hotel.
I assume early in the morning because you have to get up at 4.
I'll be attending a sunrise session, so yes.
Okay. And
Okay.
if folks want to
And
get
if
your
folks wanna
book,
get
they can
your
go
book,
to O'Reilly.
O'Reilly.
Shop O'Reilly.
Shop.O'Reilly.com. The book is Designing and Developing for Google Glass.
And what's it about?
And what's it about?
It is about designing and developing for Google Glass.
And it's, I think, the number one
And it's, I think, the
rated
#1
designing
rated designing
for glass, book out there,
book out there,
isn't it?
isn't it?
Probably.
This is like a
This is like a
1980 satellite
satellite
conversation
con-
between Ted Koppel
Between
and
Ted
Moscow
Koppel and Moscow
or Iran.
or Iran.
From Washington, D.C.,
From Washington,
I'm Dan
D.C.,
McDermott.
I'm
Thank
Dan
you for
McDermott.
joining us.
Thank you for joining
We have 2 programs.
We have 2 programs.
We have Google Plus
We
Week.
have Google Plus Week.
Oh my God, this is 40 minutes of fail. This is great. Google Plus Week is every Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. We use the term 8:30 p.m. loosely. Every Friday, 8:30 Eastern, Google Plus Week. This program is our Android Week every Monday at 9 Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. 9 Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, where we discuss, wait for it, Android news. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for all the comments. Shauna says, I'm really interested in the Moto Watch. Looking forward to the show. Oops. And good evening to Mr. Brown in Orlando, Florida. I'm over here. All right, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful week, and hopefully things calm down in Ferguson and for the Kurds, which we'll talk about probably on Friday. See you then. Have a great Android week.